Hello, and welcome back. As you can tell, it's another week of Hawkman of Volume 2 by Robert Venditti. Now, as the time you get in this video, I finished it all, and oh boy, it is a thrill. It is a very good run. But right now, we're just gonna focus on Volume 2. I will probably be making a weekly for each one, and then obviously I have other comics to be reading and showing to y'all, but we're just going to be focusing on volume 2. So from the last volume, he was more figuring out his past. He visited his Rand version. He got his ship from the microverse, and now we're on volume 2, and it starts out really good. Oh, with this one, we get to actually start out with, as you can see, this volume is called the DeathBringers. And we get a little cool. So these are the DeathBringers right here. We get a cool little splash of this, but we actually start out the comic in the past. So we actually get to meet the very first Hawkman. Now this Hawkman right here, this one, he's called Qatar. His name is Qatar, and this is his first friend, Edom. So Edom and Qatar, they actually were serving the the void, the one who lives beyond the void, which is like the true master. And obviously they use the Deathbringers to help annihilate everything. But Qatar was actually the leader of it all. And we see this girl over here. She she is a very important character, and we will this whole comic will, not this volume but the next volume, will help explain who this character is a lot more, but she plays a very good part. Now, Qatar actually thinks that she's part of this area, but she's really not. She's really like an angel, if you would. Yeah, she's constantly like there, as you can see, like trying, because she knows that Qatar doesn't really like doing this for eons and for years and years. And because the one who lives on beyond the void essentially made all of his people immortal. He's lived for thousands of years. So he's going around eradicating planets after planets. And it's really good. And of course, all these people are slaves, and they're being sacrificed to the one who lives all beyond the void for he can constantly get power and souls to help power for him, because he wants to escape the void and take over the universe. Now, as you can see, they're in Andrios over here. This one's Andrios. Then we go to Ran on Earth, Graxis, Thangard. So they constantly go to these planets, like slaughter thousands and thousands of people, and then they leave, let it repopulate, and then they eventually go back to it. So that's why he's constantly visiting. Like this is Gravos 4, sorry, and this is Thangar. Obviously they all more and more advanced. So in this, like Edom finally actually sees her, because at first she was only being noticed by Qatar, but then he decides to leave it and actually not or Qatar, since he's the general, or Hawkman, he's the general, Edom has to listen, and then they don't actually finish her or actually take her out because he doesn't want to. He doesn't understand why she keeps following him like constantly, and of course he breaks down. And he's like, oh, well, right here, as you see, he breaks down, and he's like, okay, what do you want? So she's like trying to tell him like, oh, well, you need to change. Like I can sense it in you. And so he finally just gives in. He's like, okay. And he tells all these slaves up here, like, just destroy this barrier. Let's be done with this. And for no one can suffer. So destroy it. And of course, Edom is trying to stop him. As you can see, Edom over here is like, he's thinking like, oh, you're betraying us. Like we were living forever. And now you want to stop all this. So they destroy it all. And then he gets cast because I mean, Edom just didn't want no part, like, wants to constantly stop him. And then, as you can see, he stabs Hawkman, like, pretty brutal. But little does he know, like, a giant space rock because all the debris where the planets or the rock at where they're gonna sacrifice everyone, it was all breaking apart. Smacks eat him, and he falls into the void. And so it kind of like stops it. So he didn't end the one who lives on the void. He essentially sealed the way for him to get out. But as you can see, the void is talking to him and saying like, "You will be my weapon at the end. Like you're still my tool, essentially." So he thinks he does good, and then this part is really important. So this explains how Hawkman constantly just dies and comes back. So he should have died, and like that would have been the end of it. But here, the angel, the female, she's talking to him like, "Hey, you have a choice. You can either have your soul in eternal damnation, or you will constantly relive your life in a different world, in a different universe, or sometimes the same world, as we know that he's been reincarnated on Earth twice, one as a Khufu, the Egyptian, and then Qatar, or not Qatar, Carter Hall, sorry. And we have Carter Hall on Earth, which is the current one that we're following. So he has to constantly be reborn until he has saved as many lives as he's taken. So this explains how he's just been living forever. And now he's almost constantly got his memory back. Of course, he chooses life, and boom, he's like, that's when he realizes this is all my fault. So as we can see over here, we get that he's about to run into another past life, and I love this one. And this one is because so the ship he's taking him to a place to where to destroy the DeathBringers, like where the weapon could be. Little does he know that planet was Krypton. So it was like, oh, Krypton has been obliterated. Because as we all know from the Superman stories, Krypton is no more. But so, yes, that means Hawkman is literally, at one point of his life, was a Kryptonian. And this is very cool because, you know, we're going to see Krypton, the Krypton version of him. And of course, you get to see Carter Hall. So they have, you know, a good conversation. He's talking about the weapon. But this is literally on the final hours of Krypton. So it's already like Krypton's already over. So it's like, well, I need to know how to make the weapon to destroy everyone. And so they go to this like little place and he's like showing all the stuff that has happened. Like this, I love this splash page because it shows all the stuff that has happened over the time of during Krypton's reign. So of course you have Brainiac when he came in and he zapped in and he stole a whole bunch of the cities. We have Toma Ray, which was there at Krypton at the final moments. For those who don't know, Toma Ray was actually there trying to save Krypton, but he couldn't save him in time, and that's how we unfortunately lost him. And of course, you see other parts of stuff. If you're a Superman fan, you definitely know. Like I think there's General Zod, the Abomination. I don't know this guy. Sorry, well I'm not a. I don't know all Superman people, but it's really cool to see. And I know if you're a Superman fan, you probably definitely love this part. So here it is. This is like the actual weapon to destroy the Deathbringers. So of course it's nothing small. It's something ginormous and huge, which means it's gone because the planet blew up. So there's no actual weapon to destroy the Deathbringers. So he's so it was like so they don't even know how to well Carter is like now confused of how is he actually about to beat him or beat the Deathbringers. But he's talking to him and or the Kryptonian Hawkman is talking to him and he's like saying like we have always figured it out and we always go on and you know just telling him about how there is a super how Superman survived and because of the yellow sun radiation he can fly and shoot laser beams out his eyes. That's so cool. So of course that's how that one ends and then the Deathbringers have came to Earth, but they're not on Earth yet, but they're about to be on Earth. So we go through there. He runs in, goes back to talk to Zanu, which is, if you remember from the first one, she's like the super magic user. She's really good at magic. And he thinks that the little conch shell that he saw to see all the past, he was trying to figure out if he could activate it again. She really didn't know how it could even work a second time. But it's not like she had time, even if they did, because the Deathbringers are actually now on Earth. So now he's like, well, kinda have to save the day, even though we'll just figure out as we go. So he goes up to the Deathbringers, trying to bring them all out, and then he's like, "Oh, the Great Betrayer, which is Hawkman. The Great Betrayer is located." Boom. Now it sends out all his old soldiers, because remember he was the general of all these people. So now he sends out all the old soldiers, and they're just going to cause terror to the entire city where they're at, which I believe they are in Europe at the current part, more specifically England, I believe. And as we can see, Edom didn't actually die in the void. He lost a wing, but he didn't die, but he changed. And he changed because as they're fighting and all this stuff, like of course, he's getting his butt whooped because it just caught him off guard because he wasn't expecting to find Edom. He's thinking Edom is dead. Gets his butt whooped. And over here, so they're over here talking. Next, actually, oh crap! Actually, was getting a little ahead of myself. So, of course, now he's like, ends up getting saved by Zanu. So he's like, okay, well now all these people are getting snatched up as prisoners because it's still the same thing as when it was Qatar, where they're gonna grab a whole bunch of people and sacrifice their souls to the one who lives beyond the void. So it's going crazy. He's going there, starts saving people. He essentially makes a giant daisy chain to save all these people, bring them down, and now still trying to figure out how to save people or how to actually defeat the Deathbringers and save the world. And then he kind of realized, well, he's still fighting, but he realizes and he's getting tore up. Like I mean, good for him. He is definitely trying, but he's getting whooped. So they actually have him, but he actually understands a little bit more that it's not him being called to the past. The past is trying to become out. So all of his past lives, so most of his past lives, correction, most of his past lives, that shoot out from him. So now that's his weapon of how to beat the Deathbringers and all the enemies and eat them. So now it's getting like really crazy. So of course we get this awesome splash phase. This is Cataclysm. So the last few issues are just called a Cataclysm. This is part 4. So we're almost at the conclusion. And oh my gosh, this was such a great read because you're seeing all the versions of all these crazy versions of Hawkman. We got the Gunslinger, we have the Night version who actually does know Zandu. So they actually know each other from the past. I mean, she lives for a pretty long time. We got Carter Ol, which is the Kryptonian Hawkman. So as you can see, he's getting power from the sun. We get Gold Hawk, which some of y'all might know. Carter Hole should be, yep, there we go. Carter Hole. And we got this giant beast over here, which is crazy. We got another one down here. Oh, we got the microverse one. Oh crap, you can't even see that one. We have the microverse one, so that's cool. So we finally get to see the microverse, which is Avion. I mean, there's so much. It's so much Hawkman. It's hard to remember. But main one we need to remember is Carter and the evil Hawkman. We'll just Edom. So Carter and Edom, they're over here duking it out. And then Hawkman finally, starts to get the upper hand and ends up defeating him. So, but this is where they change because he's thinking he's like gone. He's gone, like he took him out. No, the things within the void made them kind of immortal. So he actually can't die from, I guess, normal means. So that's including every one of the soldiers that also got fell into the void. So they all changed drastically. So it's now it's like, oh well, it's not really over. It seems like the bad guys have the upper hand. And then Edom's like he's thinking he's winning completely. He's like, well, we're really here to destroy everything. So he starts the DeathBringers weapons. So the DeathBringers weapons, they're going to just eradicate the entire earth, just start burning it to the ground after they take up all the people to sacrifice. And then what we see over here, if this page will open, this awesome version of like you're seeing all the different Hawkmans. They're like seeing it, and even though it's about to be the end, all the Hawkmans still just go. It's like this is gonna be our final fight. We're going out with a real fight. We're not just gonna whimper behind. Just like a superhero would. So it goes back to the past. It has Edom. Well, this is in the final chapter now, or second and final chapter. So it has Edom and Hawkman talking, or Qatar, because this is all the way back in the day. So yeah, like they're having a conversation, and you can always just see like, and every time you see Qatar in all the past ones, you see him just changing. He doesn't really like all the death and destruction that he's causing, and he just needed a way out. So now we're obviously at the last conclusion of this one, so second to last issue. So all of the past Hawkmans are just going into the DeathBringers. They're going to just try to stop them and stop them. So they're going to fight everything as long as they can destroy all the ships and all this. So they're going to take all of it away while Hawkman is fighting Edom. He's just fighting Edom down here, as you can see. He's going to like take out the leader, and it's because Edom is now the new general. So as long as he can take him out, he can stop the other. We'll call the Hawk soldiers. We'll call them the Hawk soldiers for lack of better names. While all the other Hawkmen are taking out the ships or the DeathBringers. So they're taking out the ships one by one, and we get to see Superman. Or God, Jesus, we get to see Carter Ole, Hawkman Kryptonian, shoot his laser beams, takes out the last one. Hawkman finally beats Edom. He submits. Hawkman knocks him out. Nice little knockout punt or knockout hammer with his mace. And then since he defeated the general, he was like, "Hey, if you want to attack, choose now." But still choose him as the leader. He was like, "Free all the captives and go back to your ship and wait for his order." But then one more thing happens in this issue. Carter gets to meet, so the latest Hawkman gets to meet the earliest Hawkman. So they have a good talk. He's talking about, I'm sorry for, causing everything, and thanks all of his past lives for, trying to make it right most. And then, so, they have a good talk, and he's like, we're going to have to do one more thing. And of course, his like mind is now raging because they're all giving him back his memory. So now he remembers, like, I would say a good 90% of his entire span of life. So his entire span of life was just instantly zapped into his brain. So he actually now doesn't have like a lot of missing pieces. A lot of the pieces are like together, and it's going so well. So of course, all the Hawkmans, they were just like more of like his powers. So they all go back to, I guess, technically their timelines, and when they passed away, So Carter goes back to writing in the journal, as because he is still an archaeologist. He's still a historian. He still likes to write all his stuff down. And then in this final issue, actually, oh crap, the conclusion was the final issue. That is my fault. In this final issue, he's talking to Edom. Now Edom's like at first like, "Oh, you're coming to gloat." Answer was definitely not. He just wants to know that he knows that this isn't the end, but he wants to like have Edom like, "Hey, help me out here. Like, what is actually what are they actually trying to do? And Eden's like, they try to keep me there the whole time, but they couldn't keep me as well. But all I do know is that, as he says that here, your new blood campaign will soon begin, which means he knows the Void still wants something from him. Edom himself doesn't actually know everything, but he does know that it all revolves around Carter or Hawkman. So of course we get, some more cool covers and all of this. Oh, so issue 7. Oh, I should actually want to show you the whole issue. So we have issue 7, issue 8, which is cool. Issue 9, which is awesome. That's an awesome cover issue. The cover was by Shane Davis. Issue 10, another awesome cover issue. Then we got 11 over here, and then we have 12. So that, all in all, was the second one. That was a fight with the DeathBringers, Hawkman Volume 2, the DeathBringers. Very good, very, very good art, as usual. Still liked it as much as I did. Will always still love this one. Like I said, I read Volume 3 and Volume 4. And tell me if you haven't read it. I am telling you right now, if you want to actually know Hawkman, this is it. This is something really good to get into. I think it's done so well. Still love the story. Volume 3 is going to get better. Volume 4 is just going to end it on a very, very, very good note. But I can't wait to get to issue 4 because there are things I want to talk about. But like I said, we're doing it volume by volume. And hopefully you can expect a Green Lantern volume stuff like this soon. Because I was trying to test this one. And I kind of do like going like at least, read 6 issues, make a video about it, and talk to you why I like this volume, saying why I think everyone should check this out if you want to get into Hawkman, or if you're interested in DC but don't really know what to read. Definitely Robert Venditti if you want to do Hawkman. Probably do something similar with Green Lantern. I've been reading a lot of Green Lantern, but I didn't know how I wanted to do it, but this is probably my favorite way to do it. So expect a video for that soon. I got my Elric of Melbourne Volume 2, so hopefully you can expect a video of that once. Probably not as soon as the Green Lantern. I still got to read it. Probably try to read it this weekend. I should be pretty much free. Well, I mean, I get my comics. By the time you see this video, I'll get my comics. So, my weeklies. So that does definitely come first. So I got to get that out the way. And then it's going to be it's going to be a really good week. But after I get those out the way, I should be free to read Elric of Melbourne, do my Green Lantern videos. But this is all about Hawkman this week. Hawkman was really good. I'm talking about really, really good. Volume 2, Hawkman, Robert Venditti, Brian Hitch on art. Loving it, loving it, loving it. The fight, bringing in Edom, finally figuring out who Qatar is, his actual past, his first one, how he gets to live forever, or why he's living, because he doesn't live forever. The moment that he finally redeems himself and save as many lives as he does, as many lives as he's taken, he no longer will be reborn, and that death will be his final death. So it's really good. I really think this is a very good way to bring up a character. I still think Robert Venditti was made for writing Hawkman. I'm still upset and sad that it was only 29 issues, but it's a great 29 issues. But right now, this is Volume 2 is this issue 7 to 12. So, it's the next 6. But like I said, really good. I hope you have read it, or if you have read it, definitely what your thoughts was. Do you think this one was a very good volume as well, or the 7 through 12 was very good? If you're considering about checking it out, let me know. You could probably find some of these issues at your local comic book store. I know I have. I've been collecting some of their issues instead of the volume sets because I think it's really good. I just like to have issue by issue. I don't have all of them. I mean, there are kind of older, so it's a little bit harder to find older stuff. Not as some of the oldest stuff, but I think it's really good. Let me know what you've been thinking about how I've been explaining it. I think it's been really good. Uh, Let me know, have this gotten you interested in Hawkman? If there's other Hawkman, I do have Hawk World, which I do plan on reading, but it'll probably be after the Elric volume set, the second one, and then I'll probably start reading Hawk World. If you have other Hawkman stuff, because I'm kind of a Hawkman fan, but like I said, once we get to the fourth volume, I definitely want to have talk about Hawkman because there is something in the fourth volume that made me raise questions. It's not what Robert Venditti did, it's how Hawkman is now currently treated. But like I said, when we get there, we get there. Hopefully, I will try to make the third volume for next week. So I'm trying to do this one every week. Oh, I finished it. So, I mean, it's really just me trying to make the video, how I want to present it, and how I want to do it. And I will definitely see y'all next time. But as usual, stay well, stay easy, and have a good one.